lots of points and lines. I've always really liked that paper. And so it's a representation for things that invariant to small deformations. I can use it for classification alone and also for action recognition. Okay, and that was in 2003. And then I have to say the other paper I really like is the one on duality from 1995, I believe. And that always intrigued me. It intrigued me even more after I read the description in Andrew's book. That's totally incomprehensible. And and amazingly, I spent a week with Martial Hébert at CMU last year working on it, try to make sense of it, and I'm still working on it with a student of mine, Matthew, and Martial. So I think it's actually an important paper because it's a duality between it's a geometry paper. It's duality between scene points and camera pinholes, and there's a deep duality there if you ignore coordinates. But if you put in and getting maybe a bit too technical, but if you put in coordinates, then it becomes more complicated. But there's a duality there, and I think it's a very important paper. So I've always loved Stefan's work. I've known him since 1987, we believe. So congratulations, it's an honor to say a few words about you. Thank you.
Well, let's make a remark. Basically, everybody around this thing, except you, has attended at least one workshop at Wuxi. All right. Yes. So it's a follow-up here. I guess I must be the one that have known Stefan the longest, because I think we came to KTH, well, for Stefan it was the second time, about the same time, the early 80s. Yeah, I can't really do it, so it was about the same. But we didn't really interact until Stefan started to finish his thesis, because he was in the EA department. And so I attended his defense and the remarkable dinner after the defense, because it was in a, now Stefan knows what I'm going to say because he saw it before. It was in a famous restaurant in Stockholm, Yugoslav Statues, which was built in 1742. I looked it up because it was such a sparkling event for this place, so they burnt it down some time later. Well, anyway, so Stefan's thesis was about motion coding. And I talked to, quite recently, I talked to Freddie Brookstein. And he told me that when he was in the 90s working at Bell Labs in the summers with Netravali, they came up with an idea for motion coding. Then they looked in the literature and found out that Stefan had done that 12, 14 years earlier in his thesis. So really, Stefan has a very sharp eye for, which you probably know. And I don't know who was the first to know him when he found out at ECCV, the first one, that David Forsythe's formula for an invariant in the Forsythe round. That is Stefan. From some time later, maybe it was he submitted a paper with theorem that one reviewer said was wrong and the other reviewer said was well known. In those days, you didn't have rebuttals, so I don't know if that paper ever got published. But it was someone from Oxford.
Yeah, the paper that corrected the wrong paper.
But a long time has gone since the invariants sort of, you're in the situation that like they do in Europe, they throw you out. Some consolation by reading a quote from the book I just read. was a bit long, so I had to write it down. So here's the quote in my translation. Simple matter to be a more productive research and advising. But the professors were busy by all committee meetings and faculty gatherings and all plans, reports, and proposals to the rector, the dean, and the various administrators. The time to left for academic affairs. I think first I would like to know, anyone has any idea what time this refers to and what country it refers to? Well, it refers to 46, 70 years ago. It refers to the Soviet Union. This is a quote from Solzhenitsyn, first circle.
Doesn't matter what.
So, as we all know, or those who have been in Sweden know, that Swedish administrators in the university, they have been much inspired by this. That is must be a great consolation for you, Stefan, because now you don't have to bother about this. Good luck.
Okay, I didn't really prepare, but I think I've known Stefan for quite some time. I think 16 years, and I came to the days. And as you know, so Stefan doesn't talk very much. I don't talk very much either. So it's time to know each other. But one thing which you learned, I think, all you agree that one thing which you learn about Stefan talks, that he's passionate. When he talks about something, he is passionate. If it's geometry, if it's then object recognition, then Stefan got his first phone, and deep learning is studying more. And I think the passion is something which doesn't get older. I think even if Stefan is retiring, passion is what will keep him young. And actually, so there is one passion which I've learned that he has outside of work, outside of the learning. That Stefan, I actually have been once to theater where Stefan has played violin, and it was really exciting. I think Stefan once said it didn't happen, but because my memory is also, but it was really exciting. So therefore, so we thought spontaneously to have some present for Stefan, and one part is so one part is passion for music. To Kungliga Operan, which hopefully will enjoy. And to help you enjoy this, we also have another part, a collection of wines. So,
No, you make something to make a movie.
so this is to help you to enjoy music.
Thank you.